You know, I've been on a sci-fi kick lately. Last time it was horror, and this time it is sci-fi. And I've been looking alright underrated sci-fi movies. Lo and behold, I discovered a Swedish film. Yes, from 2018, Aniara, Aniara, which um is interesting. Let me explain. With Earth in disrepair no longer inhabitable, the human race begins to leave the planet for a new home in Mars. On the departing vessels, the ship Aniara runs through a field of space wreckage shortly after takeoff and is damaged beyond repair. With Aniara knocked off course and drifting powerlessly out of control, the crew and passengers alike must wrestle with the reality of their fate. Crew member Mr. Emile Janssen operates a sentient computer that allows humans to experience idyllic memories of their life on Earth. As the ship drifts further into space, the passengers begin to lose hope and sanity amid the growing sense of disaster. Pressure builds on MR. She's the only one who can keep the burgeoning insanity and lethal depression at bay. Boy, that is quite the description right there for a Swedish movie. I think that this one's pretty good. It's actually freaking great because I've never really seen a Swedish movie outside The Phantom Carriage. So with this one, I'm like, okay, what? I don't know, like Swedish filmmaking motifs or anything like that. But I'll tell you, it's definitely more of the character development for roughly the first, yeah, I would say 75 minutes. It's really freaking great. I mean, we got some beautiful visuals of the ship, and we get to see the inside of it. But what I like to see about ships is the way how it operates. I'm like, okay, so let's show the 21 restaurants. Let's show the crew. Let's show the algae which is used to help produce the food because this is way in the future. Yes, I like that. It was indeed in the future how they're able to travel to Mars in the span of 3 weeks. Interesting. And I'm thinking, okay, so yeah, obviously with this computer, be able to give people an idyllic time with their memories on Earth and stuff like that. I'm thinking, I like this. I like the sense of optimism the movie has, but then it just gets more and more dark. Obviously with her with the chick being like the only one who can control the computer. So, for the first hour or so, it's like her trying to maintain the sanity, along with dealing with like her roommate that's like an astronomer or astrologer, and really talking about like how far the nearest celestial body is, because in order for the ship to return, it has to go around a celestial body, get enough G forces or whatever, or what the heck ever, and be able to return to its course. I'm like, okay, this is interesting. Then there's like more and more people start to come in. The computer itself starts to gain sentience and says that it cannot withstand the fear and desperation that the people have. And I'm like, what? And, as I'm looking, I'm like, okay, so this is based off a 1960 Swedish poem. Interesting, I think. I'm like, okay, the plot thickens, but in a good way. So, I'm looking there, I'm thinking yada yada, all that. I'm like, alright, there's also the very 1960s Swedish TV special that you have. Here, this feels like it's a fully gloriously realized movie, and we get to see the crew and everyone react accordingly. Even with like people saying like, hey, how long can we sustain all the food here? It's like, yeah. For about 6 months, and then the rest, and then it would start to before some chaos would start to ensue. I like the meetings and the discussions of everything. I'm like, yes, this is a sci-fi and discussion that I want to see. This feels real illiterate, I guess you could say. Like it's a literate sci-fi movie where it does some of the explanations enough, but then you kind of have to put together and everything. You have to connect the dots of everything. So it's like the discussions and the dissent of the people. But it doesn't expound upon that much. It's just more of, what's her name? Emily trying to maintain her sanity. And it's like, yeah, she does. She does have to go through some stuff where I think he even finds her, what is that, a friend or a lesbian lover, and the child not in the greatest of state, you know? And even, like, the captain himself was going to perform a suicide attempt about 10 years in with some bandaged hands and stuff like that, so I liked all that, but as I'm looking at the clock, I'm like, okay, I'm starting to get, I'm like, why don't we have more about, like, the discussions of survival and stuff like that, instead of just all this surface level / one layer deep stuff. I'm like, this is the perfect opportunity for the computer to have sentience, which you feel sorry for, but it doesn't. It just ends on a whimper. I'm sorry, it just... Alright. To be fair, it is broken up into parts and over years and time, stuff like that. Even bringing some sci-fi parts where simulations in which some people are trying to get the get the rescue ship is supposedly coming in a year to be able to grab it and said, hey, we're all dead because of your incompetency or whatever. I liked all that. But then, and it just proves effortlessly, and it's like 10 years later some people are dead, and then 24 years later after the initial, when the screw hits a component, it's called sarcophagus, and it's black, and these people are pretty much at death's door. That's what I wanted to see. But then it just jumps to 3 million years later and returns to Earth, where it was fine. I'm like, what the heck was that? I don't know. It just felt like this movie needed to expand upon it more. It could have been really something spectacular, and for the first roughly 75 minutes, I would say it is. But then it just descends into just, I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, I like this movie. Maybe I'm missing the point. I don't know the original poem. Haven't read the original poem that well, but the existential possibilities, it does, but then again, it doesn't. So I don't know. I like this overall, but yeah, I do actually recommend that you watch Aniara.